walk into a teenager's room and find it in the state that so many teenagers' rooms are in, and you ask, what happened? How did your things get this way? The teenager will sometimes cite his or her best high school science and say, it's just the second law of thermodynamics. It's just the law of entropy. This is the natural state of my belongings. There's nothing I can do about it. And so write off any personal responsibility for the state of his or her things. And I think that a lot of us, looking at our lives, looking at what our lives have become and how far they are from the ideal, from the order, from the proper ordering of our way in the world, that we know they once were or ought to be, will say, well, it's just the second law of thermodynamics. It's entropy at work. This is the natural state of my moral and ethical being. And so write off responsibility for our own behavior. And most importantly, give up on any real possibility of return. 3 times a day, every day, in the Amidah, except for Shabbat, we say, Hashivenu avinu letoratecha vekarvenu malkeinu la'avodatecha, Baruch atah Hashem harotzeh b'tshuva. Turn us back to your Torah, bring us close to your service, bring us into serving, into living, into being the right way in the world. You, God, are the one who wants us back. You are the one who wants us back. That's the name we give God 3 times a day, every day. And then for 10 days, from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, we stand on that name of God, that God is the one who wants us back. We say of God, that He says of us, Im Yashuv Mi'ad Tekablo, that if a person will only return, that God will immediately and readily welcome us back. I think that we have to be as hopeful and as rigorous with ourselves as we are with a teenager and his or her room, and say, no, the way things are is not their natural state. It's not entropy that's at work inevitably in our lives, that we can turn back, and that God wants us back. And I think that we have to want it at least as much as we believe that God does. So it starts by believing what we say of God 3 times a day, every day, and then for 10 straight days in the fall. That God is harotzeh b'tshuva, that God is the one who wants us back.